Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, time for something different. And I know I've said that before. I think I was cutting the box more than the shrink wrap here, but so this is what we're doing today. Oh my gosh, can you even believe it? So I've been playing I'm just gonna preface this by saying I am a total Magic the Gathering noob, but happy Foundations pre-release, everybody. This is very exciting. So yes, I'm a Magic the Gathering newbie as far as the modern stuff these days. This is going to be very exciting. I haven't opened a sealed product from Wizards of the Coast for Magic the Gathering in a million years. I have no idea what we're even looking at here. Look at these draft archetypes. Anyways, I've been playing. One of my friends got me back into some kitchen table Magic the Gathering. So I've been playing with cards from like the early 2000s. But what he's been doing is he's actually gone out and gotten a bunch of the Jumpstart packs. And so we've been playing with those, and that's been absolutely fantastic. And it has really given me the itch to buy some new stuff. And lo and behold, here we are with Foundations. I would just want to say right now, don't there are so many booster pack openings out there, and again, I'm a newbie. I'm going to be reading like every single one of these cards, and I understand a lot of this set is reprints. Folks, I don't even know the original cards that these would be reprinted of, unless they're literally reprints of early 2000s or the cards from the 90s. So if you are looking for someone who's going to go literally card by card, commons and uncommons, stick around. If you just want someone that's going straight to the hits and put the rest of the pack aside, please go watch another YouTube video, because that's not what this is going to be. Here we go. This is pack number 1. The first Magic the Gathering booster pack I've opened in probably, I don't want to say 20 years. And I know it hasn't been that long because, you can get booster packs and other boxes. Like I used to get those deck builders toolkits that had anyway, I will try not to make this a million years long. Like back when I was opening booster packs, they're like, these tokens are crazy, which is very handy, right? Because you'll have cards that'll make tokens. And if anything that I say, and I probably just spoiled something there because I don't know what the order is that these are going to be in, but hopefully you can get the impression that I have no clue what I'm doing. Here we go. Elf Warlock. So we have elves in black, and it's a 1/1 for 1. When this creature dies, create a 1/1 black green insect creature token with flying. That's fantastic. You need some of those 1-drops, right? And sorry if I use any of your modern Magic the Gathering lingo incorrectly, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Like I didn't know what a kicker cost was. So, but these are kind of cool, right? So you can get whatever it is for whatever it's printed, but you get a little more if you do this kicker cost, which is kind of exciting. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle if this spell was kicked. Instead, search your library for 2 basic lands. Here's the thing that I found, and I keep messing it up. I'm trying to be professional and not all of a sudden show what's in the back. But folks, I swear the rest of these packs aren't going to take as long as this one. I'm just getting a lot of my rambling and raving out of the way early. One thing that I noticed, having been playing, and I've been buying a lot of singles lately. That's what I've been buying when I've been playing my kitchen table Magic. What I found is a lot of these cards will let you search for a basic land. I don't want that. I want cards that'll let you search for a land in general, because there are some non-basic lands I'd like to find, but specifically in black. If you know of a black or artifact that'll let you search for a non-basic land, let me know. All right. Talarian Terror. It's a 5/5 for 7. Spells cost 1 less to cast for each instant sorcerer. Obviously, if you're playing blue, I assume you're going to be having a lot of those. So hopefully it's not going to cost you the full 7. Jeez Louise. My gosh, for a 5/5. And no other abilities. Squad Rallier. Well, I guess it has that ward. Squad Rallier, Human Scout. I also have a knight deck that I would like some more knights for, so I'm also on the look for that. I'm looking for vampires, and I'm looking for possibly elves, but my elf deck is pretty much set, but if I found some good elves, I actually have a list of things that I would really like to find. Bloodthirsty Conqueror for sure. I want that huge new Kona something uh that has all these crazy abilities, but also some knights. I wouldn't mind looking for some new knights. But this is a 3/4 for 4. So pay 3, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less and put it into your hand. In my knight, I do have some cheap knights in my knight deck. If that was a knight, that might be interesting. 6 damage to target creature, and you can discard a card to draw a card for 5. Stab, not bad for a 1-drop. Just maybe get rid of something pesky. I know that's what I hate in my elf deck. Elves are very fragile, and so if I have, elves help engine build, and you throw something like this down on a fragile elf and get them out of the way, it kind of breaks up the engine a little bit. Prideful Parent, 3 for a 2/2 with vigilance. When it enters, create a cub. Oh, how adorable is that? Bolt Wave, yeah, this one, I know people are enjoying this one, I bet. I also do have a red deck that I enjoy with my direct damage, and so again, 3 to each opponent, and Commander especially, that would be huge. I haven't played a lot of Commander, but I can already tell that that is pretty exciting. Whenever you draw your second card of each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy with flying. It's otherwise a 2/1 with flying for 2, which is not bad. Resolute Reinforcements is a soldier. 2 for a 1/1. When the soldier enters, create a 1/1 white soldier token. But you can cast this as a instant, essentially. Inspiring Call. Draw a card for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. That'd be fantastic. I know some people who are loving their counters, especially in green, and they gain indestructible, so that would be cool. So draw a bunch of cards for those, and all of them gain indestructible till the end of turn. Here we go. Scavenging Ooze. It's a 2/2 for 2. Pay 1, exile target card from a graveyard, and if it was a creature, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, and you gain a life. Interesting. And we have a foil here. Treetop Snare Spinner for 4. It's a 1/4 with reach, death touch, and for 3 you can put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Activate as a sorcery. And then we have one of these lands, which are kind of cool, that give you one or the other, but when it enters you gain a life, so it kind of offsets having to come in tapped by giving you a life, which is kind of interesting. So that is cool. I don't know what I should do. I'll put the foils and the rares, I guess, off to one side. I'm not going to be like price checking these or anything, because again, I have no clue what is going on. I don't even, and I looked at this little insert here, I don't even know what half of these things mean. Like raid, obviously I know what flying means, and aggro, I suppose, ramp. So yeah, it's all very, very interesting. So again, yeah, I do not want this to last 2 hours, but obviously at my pace, that's exactly probably what's going to happen. But I was so excited. I was like, well, I'm getting into Magic. There's a brand new set coming out that, look at this art card. Actually kind of a cool art card. New set coming out, and I'm going to try not to spoil the back of the stuff. So I was like, this would be a good entry point for me to get into some, modern stuff. Again, a soldier. Too bad none of these are knights. It's a 3/1 for 2, though, with flash. Sacrifice this creature to destroy an artifact or enchantment. That's actually pretty nice. Burst Lightning, again. 2 damage to any target for 1, but if you kick it, deals 4 damage instead. Macabre Waltz for 2. Return up 2 target creature to hand, then draw a card. That's pretty cool. Cackling Prowler, 4 for a 4/3. Ward 2, Morbid. So here's that Morbid keyword. What is that? At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Nice. My vampires that I'm trying to do kind of do that kind of thing. Every time a creature dies, I get to put counters on all my vampires or specific vampires. Runaway Together for 2. It's an instant. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hands. Okay. Involuntary Employment for 4. Gain control of target creature till end of turn. Untap it. Gains haste. and create a treasure token. Love that. This is a fantastic card. I think I've been watching a lot of like unboxings and stuff like that, and I think this was one of the ones that kind of caught my eye. Because sometimes your opponent will have just a ridiculous thing on the field, and maybe you don't have a removal spell or something to deal with it. So you're just kind of chump blocking it as long as it doesn't have trample or whatnot. But this will be nice to just like, say, oh, hey, here, have at it. Another prideful parent. So that's the one thing we can skip over, things that we have already seen. So here we go, actually. I think I bought a whole bunch of singles, and I probably should have looked at which cards were coming out in Foundations before I bought the singles, because I think I got this guy. The Vengeful Blood Witch, because he's a vampire. 2 for a 1/1, but whenever this or another creature I control dies, target opponent loses a life, you gain a life, and I gain a life. Because I have a lot of things that obviously, having mentioned Bloodthirsty Conqueror, that trigger based on when opponents lose life, when I gain life. So things like that are actually really handy. Fire Spitter Whelp, 2/2 for 3 with flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature dragon spell, this creature deals a damage to each opponent. You see a lot of the each opponent stuff these days. So evidently Commander is a big old thing. Adventuring Gear, whenever a land you control enters, equipped creature gets 2/2 till end of turn. It costs 1 to play, 1 to equip. It's kind of interesting as one-offs when that kind of happens. I have some other things, like I think I have a red creature in one of my red decks that has landfall that gets something special when I put a land out. I just don't know when I would use that versus something that gave something counters or like permanent buffs, since it only has 1 to turn. But anyways, so a 2 for a 3/1 with a kicker 2 with lifelink. When this creature enters, if it is kicked or target non-land permanent with mana 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, I'd love something like that in my night deck. All right, now we have a demon, a rune-scarred demon for 7. He's a 6/6 flyer. When this creature enters, search your library for a card, put it into your hand. That'd be really cool. Like, I'm really trying to run nothing but vampires in my black deck. So I do have another black deck that I made for Halloween, and this guy might be kind of good in there because I love this kind of tutor ability. And I have a demonic tutor in that deck, but this would also be kind of cool. And then what ends up happening, though, is then I get analysis paralysis, and I'm like, oh, which of my cards do I actually want at this time? Bake into a pie is a foil, destroy target creature, and create a food token. And we have a full art mountain. Very nice. So we'll put those guys off to the side, and the rest of this will be put over here. So again, I know I'm taking a million years. I apologize. I really think, I don't know if I'm going to be able to even get through this whole box with how slow I'm going, because we're already up to 13 minutes. All right, so we have a treasure. I assume this is double-sided. Treasure food. Like, food is totally new to me. Treasure is totally new to me. I'm still kind of wrapping my mind around those. Power stones are still totally new to me. My friend who does the Jumpstart boosters, I think it was like March of the Machine or Brothers War or something like that, we had the Jumpstarts for, and it like had something called Power Stones in there, and I was still wrapping my mind around those, making sure that you can only use those when you cast an artifact. So yeah, all this kind of stuff is just really, really crazy. All right, Cat Beast 2/3 for 4 with lifelink. When this enters, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other creatures you control. Discard a card to draw 2 cards for 2. In red, handy in red, I suppose. Gutless Plunderer 3. It's a 2/2 with Death Touch and Raid. So here's that Raid thing. When this creature enters, if you attack this turn, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on top of your library and the rest in your graveyard. Okay. Yeah, because isn't that similar to Surveil? But I guess this has more to do with a trigger based on having attacked. Here's an elf, 2/2, elf for 2. When it enters, if you control another elf, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So, not too shabby there. Elementalist Adept, 2/1 for 2 with flash and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this gets 1/1 till end of turn. This, I believe we got the foil of this earlier. Yeah. This treetop snare spinner. I like green things with reach, and it's typically spiders a lot of the time. It's a 1/4, so that's a kind of a nice fly defender, honestly, because since it has reach and death touch, and the ability to put counters on things. Spitfire Lagak, I don't know how to pronounce that. A 3/4 for 4 with landfall. And this landfall ability says whenever a land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Again, that each opponent thing, like Commander's just taken over. Inspiration from Beyond, 3 sorcery, mill 3 cards, and return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. You can spend 7 to flashback that. This is the one we just had, right? This Vengeful Blood Witch. 1/1 for 2. Whenever this creature or another creature I control dies, someone loses a life, and we gain a life. And we saw the Sunblessed Healer before, and I think we saw that Adventuring Gear before. Here's Kiora, the Rising Tide, this 3/2 Merfolk Noble for 3. When they enter, draw 2 cards, then discard 2. And if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, the Threshold ability allows you to create Scion of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus. And Courageous Goblin. Whenever this creature attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, this creature gets +1 and gains Menace until end of turn. So it can be a 3/2 with Menace. This Courageous Goblin, not bad, because it's like the, what do you call it? The standard, I guess, is a 2/2 for 2. And I feel like so many, and this is the other thing, is so funny to me since I've been playing again with, with my old cards, and how much more powerful modern cards are. Because like a 2/2 for 2 would be insane as an old card. You might get like a 2/3 for 5 with no abilities. And these days, for 3 mana, you might get a 3/3 with Menace, Death Touch, and Lifelink, or something crazy like that. Like, the power of the modern cards is absolutely insane. All right. And wow, we're through a whole 3 packs. On to pack number 4. Yeah, I honestly didn't know how this would go and how much I would talk and stuff like that, just because I am obviously really exposing myself by not knowing a lot about this. But Food and Treasure, definitely there's some cards I've been having that do a lot of the treasure things. So the treasure tokens will come in handy. Goblin Borders, 3/2 for 3 with Raid. And if we attack this turn, it comes with a 1/1 counter on it, which is cool. Bloodthirst is another cool ability that does something similar, but that actually has to have dealt damage to an opponent, and not necessarily during the combat phase. As long as an opponent receives some damage, the Bloodthirst puts tokens on them. I have this fantastic vampire that all my vampires, when I play them, have Bloodthirst 3. I mean, how fantastic is that? Because there's so many vampires with like Skulk or Menace, or even flying if your opponent doesn't have flyers out there right now, or even some that just tap to deal damage to an opponent. So like, you're constantly getting +1, 3 +1/+1 counters on all my vampires, just having done tap someone to deal 1 damage to an opponent. I mean, it's fantastic. Anyways, so Goblin Borders. We saw this Black Elf before, Grow from the Ashes. We looked at that before. Talarian Terror. This almost looks like an exact duplicate of the last thing we had. 3/4 for 4. Yeah, we looked at that guy before. All right, here's a new one. Gold Vein Pick. It for 2. Equipped creature gets a 1/1. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. There you go. So there's something. And again, we have a lot of these treetop snare spinners. Self-reflection, sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. That can be handy, but it costs 6. Jeez Louise. Felling Blow for 3. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. That's fantastic. I may actually add this to my elf deck, because I do have some things that let creatures fight, But obviously, fighting just means they get to deal damage right back to you. So something like this, where the defending creature doesn't get a chance to strike back, would be kind of handy. Savannah Lions, a 2/1 for 1. We have Alicia, who laughs at fate for 3. It's a 2/2 legendary creature with first strike, and whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. So it's going to constantly get bigger, and it has raid. So at the beginning of your end step, if I attacked, return a creature with mana value less than or equal to Alicia's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. That honestly seems fantastic. And trying to think, I do have a red-black commander deck, so this one may be going right in there because it's going to get bigger every turn, and I'm going to constantly get to put bigger things back out there, especially with first strike. Love that. Oh my gosh, here we go. This is our first mythic, and this was one that I was really excited about also. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, which you're going to do a lot in direct damage red decks, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Yep, that seems pretty sweet. Claws out for 5. Spells 1 less for each cat you control. Creatures you control get 2/2 on the turn. And a plains. Well, that's exciting. That was a double pack. We had a couple rare mythic cards, and that was a fantastic pack for those for sure. Oh my gosh. But again, my dream, I want to get a Kona. I want to get a... What art do we have? Very nice. I want to get a Bloodthirsty Conqueror. That is, honestly, I almost bought a Bloodthirsty Conqueror as a single already, whether they go in for the cheapest ones like $25, $23. But someone rightfully said this set is going to be out for 5 years, so maybe don't get singles right away. Wait for the prices to adjust. And then I was like, well, I'm buying all these boosters anyway. I'll just see if I hopefully pull one. We saw Crackling Prowler already. Runaway Together we saw. Follow Our Savior, Cappy's Lifelink. I think we saw that guy. Thrill of Possibility for 2. Yeah, we saw that guy. We saw this Gutless Plunderer. We saw the Spitfire guy. No, that's like our 4th Treetop Snare Spinner. Fey Bloom Trick for 3. Create 2/1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying. When you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. That's actually pretty nice. Meteor Golem for 7 as a 3/3. When this creature enters, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. If you can cheat that in, well, was it just when it enters? Yeah. So not when it's cast or whatever the way around that. So hopefully you can just cheat that in and have that ability go off, because paying 7 just seems like a lot. Infernal Vessel. Human Cleric, 2/1 for 3. When this creature dies, if it wasn't a demon, return to the battlefield under control with 2 1/1 counters on it, and it is a demon. That's kind of neat, but I mean... So, okay, so it comes back as a 4/3 for 3. Ashroot Animist for 4. You get a 4/4 with Trample. When it attacks, another target creature you control also gains Trample and gets +1/+X/+X, where X is this creature's power. Nice. So, assuming you buff this up, it could be even better, I suppose. Oh my gosh, we got another double pack with a second mythic. Zamone Paradox Sculptor for 4. It's a 1/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures, and pay 2 and tap. Double the number of each kind of counter on up to 2 target creatures and or artifacts you control. So a counter deck would probably enjoy her. Mocking Sprite, 2/1 for 3. Flying instant and sorcery spells. Oh, is this not an auto include? A 2/1 for 3 with flying, but all your instants and sorcery spells you cast are going to be 1 less to cast? Absolutely. And we have a beautiful, gorgeous plains. So again, we had another double pack there. How exciting is that? And look at how much bulk we have already. Am I interested in any of this bulk so far? Probably not really. Again, I'm really focused on my vampires and knights. There are a couple of cool red cards that I may consider for my red deck, but I think I already even have the one vampire that we've pulled so far. But again, we've only opened, what, 5 packs? So this is pack number 6 out of 36. And yeah, oh, I hate to say it, but I don't know if I'm going to open this entire thing because of how slow I'm going. And what is the art this time? It is this cat, this playful cat playing with the skull. All right, Squad Rallier. I think we saw that guy already. Incinerating Blast, we saw that, I'm sure. Eaten Alive. As additional cost, you can sacrifice a creature or pay 4. Exile target creature or planeswalker. That is actually pretty good. Because I will be creating some like cheapo creature tokens and whatnot that we can sacrifice to just do this for 1, to exile something instead of destroy it, which, you know, they may have indestructible or something like that. We already saw Grow from the Ashes, Mocking Sprite. Here's another Mocking Sprite, this time a non-foil. Look at that cute little cat. Draw a card when it enters. Here we go. Do I want this one? This is a vampire. Sanguine Siphoner for 2. It's a 1/3. Whenever this a creature attacks, each opponent loses life, you gain a life. I can't remember if I bought her already as well, if she's a reprint or not. Or if she's new, then no, I haven't had her yet. And that's fantastic. Love that she has 3 toughness, because so many things deal 1 or 2 damage to all creatures or target creature. So that means she would at least have some staying power, especially if I did attack with her. To trigger that ability and hopefully chain react a whole bunch of things. Icewind Elemental, 3/4 for 5 with flying, and when it enters, draw a card, then discard a card. Mild-Mannered Librarian, 1/1 for 1, pay 4. This creature becomes a werewolf. Put 2 1/1 counters on it, and you draw a card. Wow. Just do that once. That's kind of neat. So you get a 1/1 for 1 drop, and, you know, use it to chump block or whatever, but then, you know, say you have the mana and don't have anything better to spend it on, this becomes a 3/3 and you get to draw a card. Reassembling Skeleton, a 1/1 for 2, but it has the ability to return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped for 2. All right, Heartfire Immolator. Did we see this one? 2 for a 2/2 with prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this gets a 1/1 till end of turn. And pay 1 to sacrifice, and sacrifice this creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. Day of Judgment. Destroy all creatures. There you go. That'll wipe the battlefield regardless of what hexproof situation they be under at the current time. And our foil, Perforating Artist. For 3/3/2 with Death Touch and Raid at the beginning of the step. If you attacked, each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. Okie doke. Well, that was 6 packs. It only took us about a half hour to open 6 packs. Oh my gosh. Now I think I know why most people do prefer the channels that open them and go straight to the hits. But I don't know about you guys, this is insanely interesting to me at the very least, because my gosh, that was a fairy on the other side of that, by the way. That's cool. I don't know that I've seen something that creates a fish creature token, a 1/1 fish, and you look at that specific fish and you think, man, you know, there are other cards where it was like a goblin or a wolf or even a soldier, and those were 1/1s. And in the world of Magic, also this pedestrian looking fish is also a 1/1 with the same power and toughness as a soldier or a wolf. Oh my gosh, really? Anyways, we also have the Beastkin Ranger. This is an elf. 3/3 for 3, so that's the other thing, right? 3/3 for 3 seems good. Plus, it has all this other stuff with trample, and whenever another creature I control enters, this gets +1/+0 to end of turn. So that's an interesting situation. There's another Mocking Sprite, another Helpful Hunter, Goblin Surprise. This is a new one for us. 3 mana to choose 1. Either all our creatures gain 2 power till the end of turn, or kind of like that Goblin Fodder card. Oh no, it's Dragon Fodder. Create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Eaten Alive. Yep, we saw that guy before. Sanguine Siphoner, I think we just saw her in the last pack. Icewind Elemental. Ooh, here we go. We have another elf here. And this is an uncommon, but a legendary elf warrior for 4/3/4 with reach. Other elves gain 1/1. Whenever she attacks, you gain a life for each attacking elf you control. Ooh, I don't necessarily mind that, though. She's a little bit pricey. But she's stout. She's hardy. She's hardier than most other elves that I have that give my elves +1/+1. So we'll have to consider her. Zombify, just straight up return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty nice. Ruby, the Daring Tracker, a 1/2 for 2 legendary human scout with haste. Whenever she attacks while we control a creature with power 4 or greater, she gets +2/+2. And you can tap her, to gain some mana. Like that. And then we have this Artifact Elk. 2/2 for 3, but you can sacrifice it to search your library for 2 basic land cards and put them on the battlefield tapped, which seems actually kind of nice. I feel like I may have seen, is this a reprint? Because I feel like in a Jumpstart game I played, I pulled one of these. Consuming Aberration, 5. Consuming Aberration's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Oh my gosh, whenever I cast a spell, each opponent reveals a card from the top of their library until they reveal a land, then puts those cards into their graveyard. Well, I ain't got to reread this again, because that seems insane, because especially like mid-game, in a commander game, all your opponent's graveyards just straight up equal to the number of cards in all of your opponent's graveyards. Add all those cards up. That is the power toughness of this creature. And whenever we cast a spell, both of them have to basically mill their library until they reveal a land card. So that's actually very interesting. I don't run black-blue, but that seems really cool, honestly. Aetherize, return all attacking creatures to their owner's hands. That would kind of put a dower on someone who spent a lot of stuff to try to get an attack going. Ooh, and we have a foil land for green-blue. I should put that foil with my other foils. Yeah, that Consuming Aberration is actually kind of cool. I'll probably go for an hour. And maybe we will get through most of it, if not all of it. Or I should say until my phone's battery runs out. Raccoon Creature Token. It's a 3/3. Well, I guess we should look at the other side of it too. Oh, we have a Think Twice back there. Because the other side is an Elf Warrior. There you go. 1/1 Elf Warrior Creature Token. I need a lot of those, actually. All right, we've seen the Felidar Savior, the Thrill of Possibility, a Hungry Ghoul. 2/2 for 2, and if you sacrifice another creature, you get to put a counter on this guy. Yeah, there's a reason to get the Elf Warrior creature tokens. Seeing them already. Flash and Prowess, this Elementalist Adept. May have seen them before. Luminous Rebuke for 5. It costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. Destroy target creature. That's actually interesting, because literally if you're targeting a tapped creature, this costs 2 to destroy it. Seems pretty good. Spitfire. Vampire Gourmand. Actually, I think I do need this one. I'm pretty sure I didn't buy it as a single. Oh my gosh. 2/2 for 2, but whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do draw a card, this creature can't be blocked this turn. So that's another one which would be kind of nice for some draw capability and useful with other cards that hit the graveyard and do something, or you want them in the graveyard for some reason, or you just have some creature tokens you don't care about. Rune Sealed Wall. 06 for 3 with Defender. And tap to Surveil 1. That's kind of cool. So either you want them to defend and they're a 0/6, which is pretty nice, or you don't need them to defend and you can Surveil 1. Goblin Negotiation deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature. Interesting. Love that, because that is direct damage and we get something for it. So, like, you spend an extra 5 and take out a dragon and create 5 goblin creature tokens. Oh, look at this, like, crazy full art looking thing. And this is another one of those 3 Reclamation Sage, 2/1 elf. When this creature enters, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment, which is very handy. And then our rare Giada, Font of Hope. She's an angel. She's a legendary angel, 2/2 for 2, flying vigilance. Each other angel you control enters with an additional 1/1 counter on it. For each angel you already control, tap to add a white mana and spend it to only cast angels. Obviously, that seems like a must-have in an angel deck. Think twice, draw a card, and we have a Tranquil Cove. So I'm not sure where I should put this, because the art on that is very cool. I think I will put that in my little pile of exciting things. Yes, everything to me is exciting, to be honest. But oh, we have another raccoon creature token. Is it going to have an elf on the back? Yes, good, because we need those. All right, we've seen Luminous Rebuke, which we thought was pretty cool. Gorehorn Raider, 4/4 for 5 with Raid. And if I attack this turn, this creature deals 2 damage to any target. Saw the Hungry Ghoul, Giant Growth, Classic. Erudite Wizard, 2/3 for 3. Whenever we draw our second card, we put a counter on them. Armasar Guide for Dinosaur, 4/4 for 5 with Vigilance. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, put a 1/1 counter on a creature. That's kind of cool. I don't know how, and I'm going to really expose myself here. I don't know how many white dinosaurs I've seen. Evolving Wilds. Isn't this the joke card that everyone always makes fun of? Sacrifice it to search your library for a basic land. Put it on the battlefield tapped. I mean, this would be fantastic if it was for a land card, not just a basic land. Balmor Battle Mage Captain, a 1/3 for 2, flying legendary bird wizard. Whenever you cast insert sorcery, creatures you control get +1 and trample till end of turn. Got another Savannah Lions. Ooh, Grappling Kraken, a 5/6 for 6 with landfall. And whenever a land we control enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. That's kind of nice. Anthem of Champions. It's just a straight up enchantment. Creatures you control get 1/1. Even though this seems very pedestrian, I almost want to include it in my night deck, because my night deck is white-green, and I have enough creatures in that deck that are like First Strike or Lifelink or something, or Double Strike even. So that extra power seems like it actually would be kind of handy, especially for only 2. Oh my gosh, look at this. We got a big old beast, another mythic. Is this our 3rd mythic already? Oh my gosh, we're like not even a third of the way through the packs here, and we've already got our 3rd mythic. Sire of 7 Deaths. It's a 7/7 for 7. I mean, there's a lot of 7s in here. If you want to target it, you got to pay 7 life, so that's probably not happening. First Strike, Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, and Lifelink. Oh, that seems really, really cool. Whenever I see a card like that, I'm like, I know I'm not really running something that relates to that, but I want to squeeze that into my deck anyways, especially if we can cheat that in somehow. Oh my gosh. So many ways in black to cheat things in, like just discard it, mill it, do something, get it in the graveyard somehow, and then just play a card to bring it back. Anyways, Witness Protection is our foil. Enchant creature, loses all abilities, and is a green and white citizen with base power toughness 1, named Legitimate Business Person. Are you kidding me? That's absolutely hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, I want to run blue just to put this card in there. That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, sorry, your progenitus is now a legitimate, a 1/1 legitimate business person. Oh my god, that's hilarious. And a Blooming Sands. I believe this is in my night deck. Because I love, and this is one that I love searching for. Actually, no, you know what? I don't think this is. There's a card, I think it's in my night deck, that gives you both a forest and a plains. When did Mana Burn end anyways? Mana Burn's not a thing anymore, right? Yikes, I'm really exposing myself with that question. Well, we've gotten some really cool cards already. But again, still looking for a Bloodthirsty Conqueror, still looking for a Kona. There was, I think, also a dragon that I was interested in, too. There was actually several things I was interested in. But here we go. What do we have next? God, if I can actually open the pack. My God. All right, what art do we have this time? Actually, I love that. I'd love some sleeves that look like that. Oh, I just got the notification. Oh, this may be one of the last packs we can open because my battery's about to die. Gosh darn it. Man, we didn't even barely get through like a third of this box. I don't know why I thought I could get through this whole thing really quickly. All right, Incinerating Blast. Incinerating Blast deals 6 damage to target creature. And you can draw a card if you discard a card. Stab. There you go. That's I think we may have seen something similar to that, if not this exact card. Beastkin Ranger we've seen. Mocking Sprite we've seen. Helpful Hunter we've seen. Icewind Elemental we've seen. Armisar Guide we've seen. Wardens of the Cycle we have not. It's a 4 for a 3/4 with Morbid. At the beginning of your turn, if a creature, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, we can either gain a life, or 2 life, or draw a card and lose a life. Midnight Snack with a Raid. So for 3, at the beginning of our end step, if we attacked, create a food token. Sacrifice this enchantment. Target opponent loses X life, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Swiftfoot Boots. I think this is actually kind of a good card, right? Because for 2, equip 1, and equip creature has hexproof and haste. Yeah, that's actually fantastic, right? Because you just always have that out there, and you play a creature, attach this to him for 1, and attack with that creature. Like, that seems like an auto-include. Heroic Reinforcements. For 4, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain 1/1 and haste. Skeleton Rogue, Tiny Bones, Bauble Burglar. For 2, it's a 1/3. Whenever an opponent discards a card, exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. During your turn, you can play cards you don't own with stash counters on them from exile, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Wow. And for 4 and tap, each opponent discards a card. So that seems really cool. So whenever they discard a card, you don't put it in their graveyard. You exile it from their graveyard. Well, I guess it hits the graveyard first, but then you exile it from their graveyard with a stash counter on it. So anytime an opponent discards a card, you can pick through that stuff. That's actually kind of interesting. And then we have a Sure Strike Foil. For 2, instant, target creature gains 3, and first strike till end of turn. That's actually really good. I like that. And look at this gorgeous island. All right, folks, that's sadly going to do it because my phone is about to die. How many packs did we even get through? Like 9? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, well, we got through 10 packs. We didn't even get through a third of the box. If you want to see more of this, I can't imagine anyone would. But if anyone does, I mean, I have a lot more of this foundation stuff to open up. I got my beginner box, I have my starter collection, I have another play booster box. I won't be opening these on camera because I'm actually going to take these to my friend's house and actually use them when we play games, and then also a bundle. But if you want to see any more of these pack openings or any of this other stuff open, leave a comment below and we can possibly get to doing that because I'm excited to re-begin my Magic the Gathering journey. All right, folks, thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.